Do you struggle with how to structure your creativity? Do you think that your creativity is unpredictable? You're trying to create, but you are not sure how to structure it, how to jot down your ideas and save them for later. I'm here to talk about a structure that helped me to 10x my creativity. And not only that, but make it sustainable in the long run. So if you're interested in this, listen up. Throughout my life, I encountered so many different phases of creativity. At times I was stuck. I couldn't create. I was trying, I was doubting myself, and nothing really good came out of me. Sometimes it was stuck in me. Sometimes I needed to create for a deadline that boosted my creativity, but I doubted that I put the quality in that I really wanted. So what is the balance of creating and actually getting things done? I wanted to mention a couple of scientific ways to approach this. You probably know that we have the right and left hemisphere of the brain. The left part is responsible for analytical, mathematical, and language processing. The right is responsible for intuition, creativity, and body language, understanding symbols. So how we can take advantage of this? According to my experience, it takes up a lot of energy to switch between these two ways of thinking, but we are all capable of that. So we need to be structuring our days according to creativity and analytical tasks. What I do and what I love to be doing and has been working for me so well is to wake up and create an unrestricted time to create. It not only 10x my creativity, but it made it sustainable. So what I usually do now is that after waking up, when the energy in me is really high, then it's the time to start creating. And I'm blocking time for creating when all these new associations come to me and I have time to go through that slowly and not to feel rushed. Because I have the experience when I feel rushed while creating, I'm not happy with the quality that I'm providing. So when I create, I need to slow down. I need to forget about everything around me and just focus on the task at hand, nothing else. That helps me to access my creative spark and create freely whatever I want, messy. And when the time comes to structure it, actually, I schedule the structuring time into a different part of the day. So when it's about structuring, when it's about systemizing, analyzing anything, I'm trying to separate it from the creative process completely, as far away as possible. So what has been working for me, as I was saying, morning creation and afternoon for a couple of hours, analytical tasks. And if your time allows it to put another creative block in your day, then more power to you and use that. So you probably know by now that I'm a huge advocate in state management, that we need to be putting ourselves in the state from which we can work the best and perform the best way. So it's no different with the creative process. I encourage everyone to define the state that they need to be in order to create. And that is probably a resourceful state. When you do not doubt yourself, when you're completely sure that what you're creating is what you want to be creating. Obviously there are doubts and things that are coming up, but if you wouldn't have a goal, those doubts wouldn't be coming up. That's how these black bags of insecurities are structured. They only become visible when you focus on something that you decided to do. So managing your state is crucial if you want to be creating consistently. Furthermore, to get into the flow state, you probably know you have to have a clear goal of what you want to achieve. And according to my experience, the simpler it is, the better. And the less cognitive power it needs, the more we can tap into our intuition and start creating. But how can we access flow once you manage your state? If you're lucky, your state management already takes care of your creation. And then you just sit down and you start creating. So it's very important to have a clear goal that you really want to be there to be creating. The second crucial part of accessing flow is to have immediate feedback. That can be through your hearing, through your senses, a feedback that what you're doing is actually making sense. And then you have to be pushing yourself. You have to be wanting to make it better. That is why feedback is so important, because it gives you a feedback of what you can improve, so you can actually be stretching yourself and you can be pushing your abilities, your skills, in order to get to your next level. And then what I recommend to add to this is just to switch off all the distractions, to try to be as single-minded, if you like, to be focusing on your creation and making it better and better. For those of you who are not sure what is putting them into flow, just ask yourself, what is a state when I forget about myself? What is a state where I really enjoy and I just do not think about anything else? It can be anything. It can be washing the dishes, cooking, it can be sitting on the sofa. It's almost like getting into a hypnotic state when you do not think of anything else. You're just concentrating on something and you're really enjoying it. So there is this huge myth that creativity cannot be structured. But if we set the right structure, we are going to be able to create more quality material in whatever area we're creating, and we will be feeling much more fulfilled by our creation process. Think of it as boundaries. You wouldn't be able to function without boundaries. If you give yourself too short, if you allow other people to take away your time, to take away your energy, whatever it is, you're not going to be able to be yourself and do what you think is right. So you need to be setting it with creativity just as clearly. Creating structure around it. Do not let others disturb you in your creation. Set a time. When you have the biggest energy, you are more likely to be achieving that creative flow. But remember, manage your state as well, to be accessing that creative state quicker. As you probably know, I mentioned already that perfectionism is just procrastination in a fancy coat that we're trying to be so noble about, that we're so perfect, that we just want to get everything done right so we can let it out. But it is a form of fear, and I'll be talking about that in one of the next videos. So drop a comment about what you're going to create next, what you're going to put your energy into, and shut out the world and just create and be fulfilled by what you're doing. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this content. There'll be many more like this, and hopefully even better ones. See you later.